During his court appearance, YNW Melly's new release date was just revealed. Disregarding his lawyer's advice to be released early, according to the press, today's hearing marks the first time YNW Melly publicly went against his legal team's advice. In open court, as Melly was seen yelling at his lawyers.
Yes, sir.
Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You object to their request for me to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us.
Considering that the evidence they are contesting relates to his gang membership, Melly was yelling at his attorneys, saying that he didn't care, as YW. In the courtroom, Melly was overheard saying, "I don't care, not that. I'm a member of any gang." Well, they can't prove that.
Where 924-071. Call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
Supporting documents will require the trial to begin in 2027 if his attorneys are successful in getting the evidence omitted. Therefore, Melly doesn't care if it is included or not. In other words, before YNW Melly is convicted of the crime, he will have served 7 to 9 years in prison.
We find this case to be under the most compelling circumstances. Mr. Devins, as I sit here today, has been in custody for 2,339 days. Besides Mr. Devins' cases, which I've removed, this division currently has 38 other cases, special set for trial. 22 of those are murder cases. Numerous of those are death cases. And right now, this division has trial special set in December of 2020.
However, in order to ensure that they may use all of the evidence against Melly, the state wants this trial to be postponed once more. Additionally, they hope that YNW Melly will be given a life sentence at the second trial.
And finally, Judge, just so, again, the record's clear, given Judge Murphy's order, and there would be an intent to comply with it, what the court is compelling the state to do is to go forward with evidence that has been suppressed. In other words, we would not be able to use that evidence.
You can't.
Right.
It's suppressed. That's exactly correct.
As of now, the attorneys could go to the appellant court and request that they issue a stay or place a hold on the trial, and that seems to be the only way that this trial does not move forward on the scheduled date. So if that doesn't happen, Melly trial number 2 will begin in about 2 months.
This would attract YNW Melly's mother's notice, and she would then decide when the trial would begin live on Instagram.
Basically what happened today is the judge has said we are not delaying trial. We will be going to trial September 10th. Even though there's things that's up with the 4th DCA that has been ruled to be suppressed and not able to be used in the upcoming trial, the judge is just upholding those orders. So therefore, all of basically what was up on appeal was all of that stuff, what they were using as an enhancer in order to get the death penalty qualified. The judge ordered all of that to be suppressed. So moving forward onto the new trial, the state will not be able to bring in that evidence.
After the hearing, YNW Melly's lawyers will ask for a bond release until the trial in September. Unfortunately, YNW Melly would not be accepted. In the Double M case, YNW Melly's reaction to not being given a bond was covered by the news. Despite not being convicted, he has remained in jail for 2,320 days. There is only one explanation for YNW Melly's rejection, and it concerns the prosecutors. Insurance coverage. Let me explain. An entire evidence file was developed to ensure Melly remains in custody until the trial begins, providing the judge with the most detrimental evidence against Melly. The prosecutors released the updated evidence against YNW Melly only 5 hours after the murder. Juvie had been there, and he had no idea that he had been caught on camera. Confessing to Sack Chaser's death, YNW Melly and YNW Bortlen were seen dancing in a parking lot on video.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! The dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Showing no remorse at all for losing their two best friends. However, he was unaware that he had been filmed once more. On this occasion, Melly was seen exiting the studio and sitting in the rear left seat, getting ready for sack chaser Juvium Bortlen to get into the Jeep half an hour before the crime.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes, all right.
According to the official court documents, the direction of bullets traveling from left to right in the car supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat where YNW Melly was positioned, which is significant because YNW Juvie's mother was later convinced by the prosecutors that he was present.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
According to the official court documents, the direction of bullets traveling from left to right in the car supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat where YNW Melly was positioned, which is significant because YNW Juvie's mother was later convinced by the prosecutors that he was present.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
When she appeared in court for the first time, she quickly made an agreement with the judge because she was struggling greatly while there. The attorney said, "If you agree to testify against Melly and tell the truth of what really happened to Sack Chaser and Juvie, then you're free to go." Even though this was the worst news YNW Melly could have heard, she immediately accepted it. As soon as she was outside, she would write to Facebook and my community, adding, "Thank you to my village. My love for you all will never fade. Not God's design, but His." This is important since Mariah was forced to not testify at the first trial due to disturbing evidence concerning Melly found in her iCloud account. This is referred to as witness tampering. Furthermore, Melly will be sentenced to life in jail the moment she acknowledges this fact.
State filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The most worrisome part is that the accusation of witness tampering will be separate from the 2 million counts he is now facing. This means that even if YNW Melly is found guilty of witness tampering and not guilty of Sadasor and Juvie's deaths, he would still suffer a life sentence in jail. What's even more troubling is that the federal government has banned YNW Melly from using a jail phone for several months. His mother, Jamie King, went on to interview the county jail for denying him a phone because things were that bad.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
The federal authorities would then have evidence that YNW Melly was using the jail phone to manipulate witnesses. According to this conclusion, if it was a suspicion, they wouldn't just bar him from using the phones, since that may result in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. As soon as, in addition to what YWB, MBMB, 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 MeMB, MBMB, MeMB, the worst part is about to happen, what Bortlen will do to YNW Melly. Melly's lawyer tried to use this against Bortlen on the first day of the first trial. But you didn't know that.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. And you don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he has discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in the pocket, not Cortland Henry.
YW. Melly's own lawyer told the judge and the federal government that YW Bortlen was the one who was lying to them on a regular basis. His hands were smeared with powder residue. And he was the last. 1. They were with Juvian Sackhazer at the time of their deaths. A forensic scientist was even brought in to discuss the massings and provide more details regarding the powder residue found on Bortlen's hands.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of powder residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of powder residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was powder residue present on the hands.
Additionally, this explains why YNW Bortlen hasn't shared anything on social media in over a year. On the day Melly's mistrial was granted, there was a claim that YNW Bortlen had tweeted a mysterious message. "Mind games don't work for me," the tweet said, apart from an emoji of a handshake, as if he's signing some sort of YNW Bortlen deal. Perhaps he agreed to be prosecuted with YNW Melly. Since the prosecutors filed documents to have Bortlen and Melly try together, meaning they would sit next to each other during the trial, only for one purpose.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together, just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
It is obvious that if YNW Bortlen knows he did not commit this crime, he cannot physically sit there and accept life in prison. The fact that suggests that he will most likely just come clean and blame YNW Melly. However, please like the video and comment below with your thoughts on whether Melly is guilty or not if you want him to be released from prison.